Hello, this is our introductory Revit course, and I wanted to point out a few differences in Revit 2024 as compared to prior releases. So first off, let's start a brand new project here, and you'll notice right away that there are no templates here set up for all the different disciplines. Typically in the past, there would be a choice for contractors, for MEP, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing, and architectural, and you have to pick from those options. Currently, there's only one, so let's choose that one, which is fine. From the get-go, there are certain things that are pre-set up here on the screen that is new from the past, and some of these are kind of advanced level features. So to describe those features, let's open up another project as an example. This project was produced in a previous release of Revit. Therefore, Revit wants to update it, upgrade it to the latest and greatest version of Revit, which I'm currently using. So this project is a couple years old, or the release of Revit we're using is from 2022 as compared to 2024 today. And the concepts we're going to cover are these objects here, this black box that surrounds the drawing, and we're going to talk about this option here, these green lines here that surround the drawing as well. And so the black box is a crop, and the green is what's called a scope box. So let's talk about what those things are first. So here's a sample Revit project, and if I launch the first floor plan, here's a floor plan as an example. If I go to the project properties here, and I launch what's called a crop region visibility, I turn it on, you'll get this box. Now, this box tends to, let me erase this for a second. This box tends to hide things that are outside of the box. It's a way of customizing the view, similar to Paperspace and ModelSpace and AutoCAD. So if I take this box and I cover half the floor plan, nothing happens unless the box is activated. So here under the extend crop region, yes, I want to crop this region being this box. And if I turned it on, you'll see that it hides part of the floor plan. And so it's cropping out the floor plan. Now, for the sake of argument, let me simplify this drawing and just look at the architectural elements. So here's the floor plan. It's being cropped by this box. And this box is here, crop region visible. I can see it, yes or no? It's checked, I can see it. Is it working? Is it cropping? Well, yes, it is. Crop view, it says yes, crop the view. It's turned on. Okay, fine. And so if I make it bigger, then it displays the entire drawing within that view. That's how a crop works. The other option is annotation crop. If I turn that on, you'll notice here that there is now a separate dotted line, and you can only see it if you click on the crop box. The dotted line here, and what that does is any text, dimension, notes, what have you, that touches this dotted line, considered annotations, they'll get eliminated from the drawing as well. So if I go back to visibility graphics and I display some information here, and I take this box and I move it so close to the building that it touches those dimensions here, those dimensions disappear because they were on top of or sitting outside of this dotted line here. The dotted line is called the annotation crop. It hides annotations, text and dimensions typically. And so that's how these two function. They work in. The trick is that, and you know, by the way, it got rid of that elevation tag here. The tag is outside of this box. If I move the box out, it includes a tag, but because this is outside of the border or touching the border of the annotation, it hides it. Now, obviously, if I turn off the checkbox, it brings it back because there's no annotation crop acting on this view. So the only problem with this tool is that crops are specific to the views you're in. So if I were to crop half this drawing off the page, that doesn't apply to the other floors. The second and third floor remain uncropped. Each view has its own unique view settings, including the crops. Those settings are controlled by properties here. Whatever these properties are set to only affect the current view, the drawing that you're currently reviewing. And so the trouble is, if I were to crop this in a certain way to have the drawing set have a certain format, then I need to repeat myself for all future views because they all have their own independent crop. So that is an explanation of the crop. Now, obviously, I don't have to select it to become visible. It's visible here. Now I can hide it, crop region visible. I can turn it off and it's hidden from view because you don't want to print those crops. They will print out. So you might not want to see them. Now, it doesn't matter if I can see it or not. If I hide the crop box, it disappears, but it's still cropping because it says crop to view. It's checked. It's still cropping. You just cannot see where the crop box is because it's turned off. Crop region visible is not visible. And so these two work in tandem. You're not required to see the crop box. Although in the beginning, it's helpful when you're setting up a set of drawings to see the box, obviously. You want to know where its extents are. And so that's a quick tour of Revit 2024. This tool is also available in previous releases, and it's sitting here. And so that is the first step of how to decipher what's going on in a Revit 2024 project when you start from the beginning. So when I go back to here, this is my first project. This is an empty, brand new project. It does have a crop box right there. And as you can see here, it is visible. I can see it. If I uncheck the box, I can no longer see it, but it still works. And right there it says crop view. It's active. Now, the trick is I cannot deactivate it. And so in the next lesson, we'll talk about why that is that I cannot uncheck this crop view. And we'll stop there.